something is not sounding right, and people are beginning to notice it quietly, because when you wake up and see a headline saying the military has taken over and a swearing in has been stopped, your first reaction is shock. But your next reaction should be a question. What is really going on here? Now stay with me very closely, because this is where the real story begins. Not from panic, but from understanding. As things stand right now, there is no official confirmation that the military in Tanzania has taken over power. There are no clear signs of a takeover, no national broadcast saying leadership has changed, and no visible disruption across the country. But that does not mean people are not talking. Because the moment a headline like this appears, it spreads fast and it creates tension. Even before anyone checks if it is fully true. Now let's slow this down so everybody can follow. The focus of this story is Samia Suluhu Hassan and what people are calling a stopped swearing in. But here is the important part. There is no verified report that any official swearing in ceremony for her has been interrupted by the military. In fact, she is already the sitting president and government activities are continuing as normal. So where is this story coming from? This is where it gets interesting. Sometimes when there are internal political discussions, government reshuffles, or sensitive decisions happening behind the scenes, information can leak in small pieces. And once something leaks, social media does what it always does. It stretches it, it reshapes it, and sometimes it turns it into something much bigger than it actually is. Now think about this carefully. If there was truly a military takeover in a country like Tanzania, would it be quiet? Would it be something you only hear from random posts online? Or would it be something clear, something visible, something confirmed by multiple strong sources? You already know the answer. A real situation like that cannot hide. Now, before we go deeper into this gist, quickly like this video and subscribe, because what I'm about to explain next will help you understand how stories like this grow so fast. Now let's talk about the word leaked. That word alone is powerful, because once people hear leaked, they assume something secret has been exposed. But not every leak means a crisis. Sometimes it could be internal discussions, planned decisions not yet announced, or even misunderstood information. But when people outside see it without full context, they begin to fill in the gaps themselves. And that is how tension starts. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think people react more to facts or to strong headlines? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because this conversation is getting deeper. Now, let's continue. Tanzania is known for having a relatively stable system, and the leadership under Samia Suluhu Hassan has been focused on maintaining order and continuity. So when a story like this appears, it immediately raises eyebrows, not because it is confirmed, but because it sounds serious, and serious stories attract attention very fast. Now imagine you are just scrolling through your phone and you see that headline. Before you even read details, your mind starts building a picture. You begin to imagine change. You begin to imagine uncertainty. That is how powerful words can be. But here is where we need to stay grounded. There is no clear evidence right now showing that the military has stepped in to take control. There is no official communication supporting that claim. And without that, the story remains what we call speculation. Now listen carefully. Speculation can feel real, but it is not the same as confirmation. And if you are not careful, you can start reacting to something that has not actually happened. Now, this does not mean everything is perfect or nothing is happening. Sometimes stories like this come from a real tension, but the details are not accurate. There could be political discussions, leadership decisions, internal disagreements, but these are normal parts of governance. They do not automatically mean takeover. Now, before I continue, make sure you like this video and subscribe right now, because the next part will help you see how small information turns into big headlines. Now, let's look at how this kind of story spreads One person posts something, another person adds their own angle, another person removes context. And before you know it, the story becomes something completely different from where it started. That is exactly how viral news works today. And that is why you must always ask, who confirmed this? Where is the official statement? What is the full context? Now, let me bring it back to you. If something major was happening in Tanzania right now, would there be silence from official channels, or would there be clear communication? Think about that. Because sometimes silence is not hiding something. Sometimes it simply means nothing unusual has happened. Now, let's go deeper into the emotional side of this. People are already dealing with daily pressures. So when they see strong headlines, it adds to their stress. It makes them feel like something bigger is about to happen. And that is why stories like this spread so fast, not because they are confirmed, but because they connect with people's fears and curiosity. Now, let me ask you again. When you first saw this kind of headline, what did you feel? Shock, confusion, curiosity? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe because your engagement helps more people see the truths behind these stories. Now, as we speak, Tanzania continues to function normally. There is no visible disruption, no official takeover, no confirmed military action, but people are watching. And that is important. Because even when something is not confirmed, the conversation around it can still shape public opinion. Now, here is the key takeaway. This is not a confirmed military takeover story. This is a story about information interpretation and public reaction. And sometimes that combination can be more powerful than the actual event itself. Now, stay with me, because situations like this do not just end quickly. They evolve. People keep talking. More information may come out, and the story can change direction at any moment. So the best thing you can do is stay informed, stay calm, and always check what is verified. Because in times like these, clear thinking is your biggest advantage. Now, before I pause here, make sure you like this video and subscribe. Because if anything changes in this story, you will want to hear it here first in a clear and simple way. And let me leave you with this thought. If a headline can create this much attention without confirmation, what would happen if something real actually unfolds? Think about that. Think about